211 system helping the homeless in Connecticut from what you see in your daily travels?
You know, it's interesting that you should ask me that because again, I say that I work with youth, family, and community, right? And so, over my 30-year career, I remember when 211, um, and I'm not sure how long it's been around, but you know, right now you have to call 211 to get into the system. I remember when that wasn't always the case. You could literally roll up on the shelter and
Oh
be like, I
wow.
need this or I need that. Today you have to go through the system. I think that from a standpoint of tracking data and trying to point people in the right direction, I would say that it's a plus. But on the other hand, I would also say that systems sometimes get clogged up, right? Systems, unfortunately, are not human, and they may not address the direct need. You know, I had a family yesterday. I'll just be straight. You know, homeless. They needed help. They're in the 211 system. They couldn't call 211. They called their brother, and I was able to help them. Just like that.
Shout out to that. Are you familiar with Paid in Full?
The movie?
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
Alright, so the real story was Alpo was a get money dude in Washington. Rich Porter was a get money dude in Harlem.
Mhm.
Yes, we know Dame Dash wrote the movie, but it was directed the wrong way.
Mm.
What is your opinion on Alpo taking out Rich Porter and then end up and dumping his body on the side of the highway? That's the real story. Y'all can Google it.
Mm-hmm.
And also in the midst of that, Rich Porter was trying to get his uncle right, but his uncle became a fiend and started taking the drugs and not trying to make money off it at that particular time. Kidnapped his younger brother
Right.
for ransom and cut off his finger and
Yeah.
sent it to their mom in a McDonald's bag.
Yeah.
What is your opinion on that whole situation?
You
And
know,
they both of those young people, Rich Porter and his younger sibling, died.
yeah.
Apple
Yeah.
ended up dying when he came back to Harlem,
Right.
but that was like 30 years after the
Right.
situation. And if anybody wants to speak on it, we can speak on it.
Yeah. You know, again, first of all, it's a very tragic situation. Um, Going back, and I'll use a hip hop analogy. Curtis Blow had a song, and it started off. It talked about 8 million stories. You know, 8 million stories, and that particular story is just one of the 8 million stories in the city of New York. You know, or the 800 million stories that are across the inner cities of America that deal with our people. I think that again, it's tragic. It's sad that we get caught up in you know the modern Babylon, right? It's sad that we get caught up drugs and money, greed and envy, and now you're looking at your brother sideways. You know, you're looking at your brother for some gain or some profit. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, he said when we were planning the Million Man March, and it started out as the Stop the Killing rallies. These were the all men's meetings. And he said that we have to stop the fratricidal killing that's going on in our cities. And fratricide is when brother kills brother. And so I think it's just tragic because those individuals had natural gifts and talents, but they just chose to use them in the wrong way.
If you can go anywhere in the world, where would you go and why? You can come back whenever you wanted.
I probably leave that to my wife. I don't know. I would say there are probably a few places. I want to go to Mecca, right? I want to go to a couple of African countries to take a look at, you know, especially those locations in Ghana and places like that where our people left in chains,
Facts.
you know. So I would say a few places in Africa, definitely.
Shout out to that. How many in chess? What piece on the chessboard would you be if you played chess, and even if you don't, what piece would you be?
I mean, chess. Yeah, I guess I'd be the king.
I like that answer. Why would you be the king?
The king is ultimately calling the shots in terms of what the kingdom is doing, how the kingdom is developing, and how the battle is won. ultimately, from the pawns, the rooks, knights, bishops, queen, they're all fighting to make sure that the king stays alive. And the reason why he stays alive is because when he's gone, just like in the family, when the king is gone, it's game over.
Very true. How many parts of a brain do you have?
How many parts of the brain?
Yeah, how many parts is in your brain?
That's very good. I mean, Al Elijah Muhammad said we had 24 billion brain cells. I mean, thought is nothing faster than thought. But I think in terms of biology of the brain, it might be 3 parts.
Good job. Good job. You ain't lying, because sometimes people say I done heard the craziest answer, but you tapped in, you paid attention. Shout out to that. What's your opinion on mental health from Connecticut, from worldwide, from what you see? Because mental health got a lot of going on with what's going on around this world, or what you see in travels, or just in general. Talk about mental health.
You know, mental health, of course, we hear a lot about it today, and it's just so funny. I was with my students at City Hall as City Hall was having a youth speak out, so I brought some of my youth leaders there, and one of them leaned over to me. He said, brother, give me something good to say. You know, so we were talking, and one of the things that we were mentioning is that the mental health condition of Hartford is at an all-time low. And so I equate mental health to physical health, right?
Facts. So
if you take care of the body, you'll be strong.
Facts.
Exercise, eating right, getting good sleep, right? And then the same thing with the mind, you know what I'm saying, or your mentality. You have to exercise your mentality. And if you're not getting mental exercise, then you can get a fat head. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so people today, unfortunately, they're not exercising their mentality. And when you have a brain or a mentality that is not exercised, it's not able to keep up with the rigors of the world.
Very true. We're going to fast forward into the next, I think I got like 9 more questions for you. You've been a wonderful guest.
I appreciate it.
What's your opinion on P. Diddy getting picked up for sex trafficking and found lubricants and bottles of lotion in 2024?
This is probably going to be my shortest answer. You know, I really don't have an opinion on our brother. I'll say it that way. The trial is coming up, and I really want to see what it's all about. But again, anytime one of us get off track, right? Anytime one of us fall for the trinkets that the enemy has to offer, you know, you're going to find yourself in a position that our brother is currently in. Hollywood don't love us. The music companies don't love us. They use us. They use us like the last poet said in this interview one time. You know, he said that the artist is the prostitute, the people are the trick, and the record company is the pimp.
Oh,
and that's exactly what we see in the industry today.
Very powerful information. I'm gonna rewatch this interview. I'm gonna rewatch this interview. Shout out to Quincy Jones. Do you know who Quincy Jones is?
I'm old school, definitely.
What's your opinion on Quincy Jones dying at age 91 years old?
Again, you know, short answer. Quincy was a pioneer in terms of music. You know what I'm saying? You hear a lot of things, but I think that, you know, only God can be a judge. So I think he did a lot of great things, and you know, may God be pleased with him.
Shout out to that. Do you know, even though you don't watch basketball, but I like to ask everybody this question.
Okay.
Do you know who is on the NBA logo?
Who that individual is?
Yeah, who is that person on the NBA logo that y'all see? Anybody? Do anybody know who that is? Do anybody know who that individual is? On the NBA logo that's posted all over. I want to know who y'all think that is. Who? Anybody can answer this one, because this one gonna mess all y'all up. It can't be for his generation, but I want to know if anybody know who it is. It can't be for his generation.
Yeah.
It can't be for your generation too.
That's a good concern.
So I can answer. I have to answer.
That's one of them questions that, you know, when you hear it, I'm never gonna forget it. So I'm open. I don't know.
And do you like basketball, right? You be balling? You don't play? You don't like basketball?
I'm a football player. Like
Oh, okay. Because I was asking you, because if you ball in Philly, I wanted to know, Mr. A, you do be dunking in club. You don't know Mr. A?
who was on that logo?
Dang, Mr. A in the building. All right, shout out to that. So the correct answer, the person that's on the logo will be Jerry West. So Jerry West is on the NBA logo. So anytime you see the NBA logo, y'all, it's not Michael.
Long socks.
They made the NBA logo after Jerry West. So if you don't know, you can pull it up. It'll pull up who the NBA logo is. Going to pull up Jerry West. And so shout out to that. For those that didn't know, and if you do know, now you can pass the information on for those that say, you only basketball, you hit with that little punchline like, who the NBA logo is. And they be like, oh, they're going to wait to the phone.
NBA trivia.
So shout out to that. Do you know the original inauguration date? Or month? Do you know the original inauguration month?
Oh,
The original, not what they have it as now.
not January.
But what's the original month for inauguration?
I can't say I know that history.
Do anybody else know the original inauguration month? The original inauguration month will be April and March. What is your opinion on them switching it to January on Dr. King's Day?
And again, a short yet important answer. You know, I think it's a slap in the face that, you know, if anything, they should have moved the inauguration date to Dr. King's birthday when we swore in Obama. All right? But in our current situation, I think it's just a slap in the face because since that swearing in, there has been an attack on our people, on our culture, on marginalized people everywhere in this country, and it's just really sad that they would swear in a president who has really tried to strip everything that Dr. King fought for.
What age was Dr. King when he died?
39.
That's true. What age was Dr. King's dad when he died?
Going deep. Ooh.
And then we're going to ask after that, how did he die? So what was the age of Dr. King's dad when he died, and how did he die? And I have all these answers right here, so people don't phone, so I can't get these answers.
Yeah, I can't go that deep.
Anybody knows how old Dr. King's dad when he died?
Was Dr. King's father assassinated?
I'm asking. No, I know the answers.
I think I was too.
So that was you. So you think Dr. King's dad was assassinated? Just like Dr. King. You think that too?
Taking a wild guess, yeah.
So you think Dr. King's dad was assassinated, and that's how he died?
That's not common knowledge.
I know it's not. That's what the Gentleman's Talking. That's what the Gentleman's Talk podcast is about. Is to hit y'all with questions that they don't ask. That's what I research. And when I'm in my bag,
Come on, research.
I got a research thing that's gonna have y'all brains looking like he right. It's not common knowledge. Mr. A in the building, he talking up. Do we know what age Dr. King's dad and how did he die? We got answers of he got.
We don't know. We don't know.
We don't know?
I took a guess.
All right, so he died at age 84, and he had a heart attack.
Oh, okay. Well, you know. Yeah.
Right.
So
Because I was thinking some other stuff.
Yeah, I started.
I was like, you know, did they get senior Dr. King too? I don't know.
Alright, so that's, and what's your opinion on him having a heart attack and lasted to age 84, seeing his son die? Because he got to see his son die. How what's your opinion on that? He saw his son die because he left longer than his son.
I'm going to say that
And then we have one more question on the podcast.
Dr. King's father, like any father, would be and probably was proud of his son, and to see his son stand up for bigger principles, to stand up for something, and ultimately, you know, pay the ultimate sacrifice with his life. Even though you never want to lose a child, you never want to lose a loved one, but to see that your child rose to the level, right, and that he gave his life for something that was bigger than himself, that's a huge blessing.
Last question on the Gentleman's Talk podcast, and then we get your shout outs. Do you know what actor was the governor of California?
Yes, I do.
Okay, you can say it.
Oh, Ronald Reagan.
It's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Well, you said, look it up.
It could be right. I know it's Arnold Schwarzenegger. I didn't know.
Ronald Reagan was an actor.
And I didn't know. I know it's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Schwarzenegger, I'm gonna give you that one. You got to switch it to first.
Okay.
First.
I'm making sure because I was
Ronald
confused.
Ronald Reagan was an actor.
Okay, well, shout out to that. We both schooled each other on that
He
one.
was the president of the Screen Actors Guild.
We both.
Then he became governor of California.
And then Arnold Schwarzenegger was the governor too, so we both got each other on that one. So shout out to that one. Alright.
Shout out.
Any shout outs you want to make to any of your people, friends, families, loved ones, associates, anybody want to shout out? All this podcast will be coming out this year, so
Appreciate that.
anybody want to shout out?
Just, you know what I'm saying, we always thank Allah God for allowing us to be here. You know what I'm saying, my wife, you know what I'm saying, the believers at Mosque 14. You know what I'm saying, my young people who are in various programs that we're affiliated with, Blue Hills Civic Association, YO4SJ, you know what I'm saying, just a shout out to our families in the Nation of Islam and the Honorable Minister Farrakhan.
Shout out to that. Yo, everybody, this was the Gentleman's Talk Pod. 1, 2, 3, we out of here!